night in. You have seen us every single week on Making Sense of the Crisis on a Thursday night. Thanks so much for watching that. The numbers have grown and grown. It was an alternative to the government briefings, to the mainstream media. But tonight, I suppose, is a bit of light relief from that intense political narrative. I just want to start, by the way, by saying on behalf of the People's Assembly that all our thoughts are with people who have been injured in Glasgow. Our thoughts are with you and your family and friends. We are tonight joined by some excellent artists, comedians. I'd love it if everyone just popped themselves on mute right now, and then I'll bring people in one at a time. But we are like a real big fan of these people, so I'm a little bit nervous tonight, but I'm trying to chill out. I am not bringing the jokes, so I've got nothing to worry about. I'm not the funny one. If you've got jokes, by the way, put them on the comments of our Facebook or our YouTube live broadcast. But tonight is supposed to be a bit more lighthearted, but it is also a fundraiser. And let me just set out exactly why we need money. I'm not even apologetic about this, actually, and here is why. The People's Assembly has been going for over a decade. It has argued for the last decade that austerity is a political choice, not a political necessity. And we right now are living through a global health pandemic in the midst of also a political crisis. We have a hard right government committed to neoliberalism who are committed to an economic system which is destroying the planet. We see workers facing an intensely insecure future with their opportunities, their job opportunities, their security being eroded by the fragility of the system, but also by the problems this health crisis presents itself with. And the People's Assembly have been really clear. Look, we wanted to keep people as safe as possible. All our activism up until now has been online through Making Sense of the Crisis, through podcasts, through memes, through in support with our trade unions, brothers and sisters. But we are planning right now in this crisis for when we emerge from it. And we want a mass protest against this government, but not just one mass protest. We are ramping up our activism against this government because we believe they have resolutely failed every single one of us, not least the slowness in the lockdown, the partial lockdown, the failure in PPE, the ignoring of exercise sickness. You know it, or you've seen it with your eyes day after day. We are disappointed. We are hurt by this government who have let down our loved ones, and it's resulted in tens of thousands of people dying. And so there isn't a choice, is there? We're here on this Friday night. We're still not able to go out. So we're having a big night in, and we're going to be asking you for your money to help us prepare for our activism. So here's two ways you can do it. On the comments feed, there is a link to the website. I don't mind if while I'm rambling on, you pop off there and donate whatever money you have got if you want to click on that link. If you're donating, if anyone's got this much money, but if you're donating over £50, there's also a phone number on there where you can make a donation if you're a bit worried about online transactions. Whatever you've got, however little, however much, we would really greatly appreciate it, because most of our operation, of course, is run on activism, but things do cost money. Tonight, we have some amazing comedians, activists, socialists, performers, and I am not responsible. I'm just saying right now, I'm not responsible for their language. All right, this is my disclaimer. Don't be coming back on me. Look, it's 8:05, and I'm warning you now. There might be some fruity language that goes on during this show, so you can mute if you've got children in the room, or just be aware that that is going to happen. We want people, because I know, and just so like all of the artists know here tonight, that the people who are watching this, our audience, are tired, they are down, they have been absolute legends throughout this crisis as part of mutual aid groups in protesting in whatever way they can against this government, but also being practically helpful to our brothers and sisters and communities out there. So tonight is for you. This is a fundraiser, but we want you to relax. We want you to chill out. We want you to enjoy this. And we want you to just kind of bask in the solidarity and the comradeship that's going to go on tonight. But please give us some money if you've got any. So I'm going to go straight now to Jerry Potter, who's well known for his working class and socialist principles. He's a poet, playwright, director, actor, and of course, a brilliant friend of the People's Assembly. Now, before he comes in, share this live. That is the best possible way we can get as many people as possible to see this. So over to you, Jerry. It's so good to see you again. Over to you.
Thank you very much. I'm going to read from, am I there? Right. Yeah, thank you. I'm going to read from my book, my last book, Manchester Isn't the Greatest City in the World, The Rise and Rise of the Bourgeois Zeitgeist. Now, I know some people will be living in Manchester and know that I'm a Scouser and that that is a cardinal sin for a Scouser to write a book called Manchester Isn't the Greatest City in the World. So don't...
to Jerry Potter, who's well known for his working class and social...
Something's gone wrong. Right, there you go. So can you hear me now? Right, got you. So anyway, this is my book, and I'm going to read this poem to you. Now the poem, this came about when Margaret Thatcher died, and me and my friend Caleb went into Manchester's gay village, and we thought that all the gays in the village would be celebrating, you know, because Manchester was the scene of that great big, Clause 28 march. No, they weren't. A lot of them were really angry that me and Caleb were dancing like lunatics. So the day after, on a hangover, I wrote this, and it's called Thatcher Just Isn't Dead Enough for Me. A wooden stake wouldn't have cut him. For that shit to work, you need a heart. A silver bullet between the eyes, take out the brainstem. Well, you know, a start. I'd have gladly got Vlad to impale her, Frankenstein's monster to assail her, the werewolf to rip off her limbs. But those monsters of fantasy, not the deranged, darkened reality of an ideologically driven, unholy, evil, sociopathic whims. You could kill her 1,000,000 billion times, but you see, no matter how unalive, how brown bread, Thatcher just isn't dead enough for me. First, they came for our children's milk. Now they want their food. Her ball still rolling with lives she's stolen. We're still screwed. Firing squad, slow poison, nailed to our country's mood. It's just not enough for this anarchic puff and his ragtag ministry. No matter how kaput and for every factory shut, Thatcher will never be dead enough for me. Now, let me say this compassionately. Throughout all the hate, mine is disgraced, and for Clause 28, Thatcher will never be late enough for me. Thank you. This next poem, because today is it's kind of World Pride Day, and this next poem is about one of my favorite ever queers, I suppose, LGBTQ plus people. She was called Marsha P. Johnson, and Marsha P. Johnson is now being recognised for the great work that she did many, many years ago, kind of pre-Stonewall and post-Stonewall. She was famed for throwing the first shot glass at the Stonewall riots, but it's kind of mythical. She went a bit later, but she was really wild and out there, and she was fantastic. This black, tall, magnificent, eccentric, crazy, gorgeous, politicized, underground, countercultural queen who I adored, who kind of helped, young trans people, young queer people find housing. She was just amazing. So this is for her. And there's two things you need to know. Sadly, she was found dead in the Hudson River, and not long after the Pride of that year. And happily, and this is the thing I love about her, was she thought Neptune was her dad. Now, I've got a soft spot for people who think gods are the dads. I think it's a Scouse thing, but I really, really love her for that. So her catchphrase was "Pay it no mind," and this is a tribute to her, and it's called "Pay Her Mind." In depths of Hudson, on shelf of myth, Neptune has you, sassy ornament. Within currents of legend and mirrorball headdress, you swim steer through continents. You, his daughter, joy and pride, and he, as you always thought, is your father. Seaweeded pearls weave your hair, every second a mermaid, every inch queer. Leggier than Esther Williams, smile wide. Sky is always high tide. Slow drawl, camp sly, superfly majesty. Worlds taken from you, reclaimed and yours. Gutter disco is hearing in howl around, seeing in sound. You, our heartbeat honey, music blessed. You, notes on breeze, pavement pound, glittering complete togetherness. And all the little coloured lights go do, 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 do. You could see purest humanity, cities infinity, new flying how and where to soar. All those arms and legs of yours, a crowd of a million possibilities, visionary limbs beckoning the familial of dance floors. Wish I knew you. Think I do. Feel you roll rattling in every song. Think I hear what you sung. Hope I sing along. Dead? Yes, but will never die. Light like yours perpetual shines. Heart that big, always beating in the steps of our dancing, strobing, oh, of our wow, catwalk of our streeting. Brilliant find, queerdom seed, pronouncing freedom, rejecting greed, renouncing grind. Miss Marsha P., I most certainly pay you mind. And I'd like to leave you with this poem. This poem is, Stonewall was a riot, and sometimes, I mean, I would describe myself as an anarcho-socialist pacifist, but sometimes we need riots to make sense of the moment, because sometimes people are campaigning for long and hard, and then suddenly nothing happens until you actually kick off. Now, this poem was written about the so-called training shoe mobile phone riots of 9 years ago. And I wrote it for lots of reasons. The main reason being, I remember watching the news the next day and just thinking how badly treated most of those young people were by the news and how awful it was. And another reason being, I'm from that background. I'm not from their background because I'm not a teen now, but I certainly would have, I was certainly from that place. And this was written for them and it was written exactly after watching yet another news bulletin, deflammatory news bulletin, disrespecting them, if you will. And I think the working class have had over 40 years of disrespect, well over 40 years, well, longer than that even, but this is dedicated to flare-ups and riots everywhere. It's called, How Do You Respect Fuck All? Let me tell you what fuck all is. It's invisible, nada. It's you don't exist or matter. That's what fuck all is. It's Theresa May, plastic face spouting nothing tangible. That's fuck all. Fuck all is the offer on the table. It's the option of government. Fuck all is the big society. That's fuck all. Fuck all would spit in your eye if it recognized your eye, if it recognized your humanity. Fuck all pisses all over the crap of you. That's fuck all. Fuck all is the BBC bullying Darkest How. It's a newsreader calling him a rioter. Mainstream news. Now that's fuck all. Fuck all ignores the question. It hides in denial. Fuck all loves us blaming. That's fuck all. Fuck all takes your jobs, your libraries, your hospitals, your pubs, bulldozers, your youth clubs, labels you lazy nothing. That's fuck all. Fuck all destroys more than we burn. It's the politics of the rich and evil. And yes, I said evil. A tramp dies of cold in the shadow of an empty home. That's fuck all. That's evil. People are for call. Poor people are for call. Angry people are for call. Addicts are for call. Students are for call. The unemployed are for call. The dispossessed are for call. The unemployable are for call. Single mothers are for call. The unlovable are for call. The mentally ill are for call. The abused are for call. The fucked are for call. Fuck all will burn down your capital. Now that's fuck all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much to you, Jerry. I'm like always kind of caught up in your performances. If my video could be put back on, that would be great. Cool. So thank you so much for that. I said there would be some kind of colourful language, and you really did provide that, Jerry.
I'm sorry about the beginning, but there was some sort of feedback thing happening with me here. I don't know what that was.
Yeah, honestly, don't worry about it. I think that I think the saying of the century is going to be "you're on mute," isn't it?
Yeah.
That's going to be the saying. Look, thank you so much. Please, please, please share that. Share that performance, share this live. We have so many other performances on the way. We have Attila the Stockbroker, we have Mark Steele still to come, and we need your money. Let's just remind ourselves why we are here. We need your money now more than ever, because we need an effective opposition to this government that is doing so much to make this crisis extremely painful. We see other nations kind of emerging from this crisis faring better than our nation. You wouldn't think that we are one of the richest nations in the world. I have no jokes. Please send me your jokes in, but we don't really need any more jokes from me or any more chat from me, because I have Barbara Nice with me, and I am a super fan, Barbara.
Now, Laura, don't go away. I want to chat with you.
Okay.
And have a good proper talk with people at this time. When can we? It's been a lot more sociable, hasn't it, love? We're ploughing our own furlough, kid. We're ploughing. Who's laughing? It's lovely to laugh. It's very difficult to laugh on your own in isolation, so it's lovely having a piggy in that. Now, Laura, before you go, now I like your headphones for a kick-off. Have you found buying a lot of stuff? My back bedroom's like a branch of, what's all them? What do you used to call them? Electrical shops, Currys, like Currys in my bedroom. Where'd you get your headphones from, Laura?
I actually got them as a gift from someone, because I was using some really old and rubbish ones, and people were complaining about the sound quality. So I got them as a gift. So I don't know where they're from, but I saw you, years ago. Well, maybe not that long ago, in the Tyne Journal Theatre when you did an event in defence of Jeremy Corbyn, and I couldn't believe it. Then I saw you on Britain's Got Talent. I was like, no, the world has not allowed you. It just has to be.
Laura, love, can we hear it for theatres wherever you are now across the country? We need live pigging performances coming back, don't we, Laura? When you look back at those days, it was all full. Theatre's so important. Do anything you can, kids, to get theatres back. What's a stage diving, Laura?
You stage diving. Do you know what? The line that I always repeat, you obviously invented it. If there's a shortage of Jaffa cake, say there's a shortage, Barbara. That's my favourite line. And I say it about everyday household items. Is there a shortage of bleach? There's a shortage, Barbara.
Oh, I see. Oh, I can't really remember. It's funny what people remember. People say, do you remember me in Southport who said this? I think I can't really remember. But you've remembered it, Laura, and that's what's important. So Britain's Got Talent. Yeah, I wore my Apple Mac for that and everything. And a lot of people said to me, what did you get out of Britain's Got Talent? Well, I got a new Apple Mac, Laura. I got a pair of tights from Amanda. She's very nice, Amanda. And a pair of David Walliams' old Spanx. But I mean, do you know what I mean? They're pretty good.
Was it nerve-wracking?
Frightening. Yes, love, of course it was. Because you're in front of all them people. But as soon as you step on the stage, and that's what's good about live entertainment, you get a feeling, which we're doing this now. It's lovely we can speak to everybody, and I've got a rice pudding downstairs, on the oven. Put on So I've just timed that. I'll go down in about 15 minutes because it should be crisping up. You couldn't do that at the Tyne Theatre. I couldn't say I'm making a rice pudding. But you can't see the audience. So I'm just fingers crossing we've got a good audience. Do you think we have, Laura?
Oh, we definitely have, and there'll be thousands of people watching. Share this so there's thousands more. We've got a good audience ready to listen to you.
Okay, let's say hiya and bye-bye to Laura. Goodbye and hello.
Bye.
And I'm on my, right, here I am in my back bedroom. Now, I can see a lot of people thinking, it's all right, Barbara, nice talking to Laura, but where did she get that cheese plant from? Isn't it lovely? It's a bit like a triffid when I wear it like that, but it's a smashing cheese plant. And I don't know whether you like me, but just before, you know, lockdown countdown, when you're thinking, what's pigging going on? And you just grab stuff, you know, like supermarket sweep. I got that because I thought that's going to be one of my lockdown pals. And I'll show you another of my lockdown pals in a minute. But what we'll talk about today, really, because I didn't know whether I was going to make it or not, because me and my friend Vera, next door Vera, we went out in our masks, right? Mine's a nice one. I like wearing animal print. Now, if you like wearing animal print, or you've ever seen anybody wearing animal print, I just want you to go rah after 3. 1, 2, 3. Rah. There's a lot of us. They're trying to ban women like me and you wearing animal print from going to zoos. Poor zoos, are they open yet? They're saying women wearing animal print cannot go to Dudley Zoo. They say it confuses the animals. Now, when's the last time you saw a leopard wearing glasses and carrying an accordion handbag? They think animals are daft and they're not. Remind me where I'm going with this, because I want to talk to you about this and my mask and everything, but I've just thought about animals. There's been a lot going on with animals getting more powerful over this pandemic, because I like this. I mean, it's you know, it's yin and yang, feng and shui start skiing up. It's awful, but there's some lovely simple things coming back to the fore. Animals are back. And I'm telling you what, just give you an idea, Sheffield, let's say for Sheffield, what a great city, 2 badgers, about 3 weeks into lockdown, 2 badgers seen on Sheffield Station. I don't know where they thought they were setting off to. We're living the vida loca. These are the jokes, kids. So this was made by, so I've got a leopard skin. That's what I was trying to tell you, right? I've got a leopard skin thing. So me and Vera, made by the student next door, he's got to do something, you know, such a clever lad. He used to run a theatre, now he's making these, but he'll get back there, you know what I mean? These are nice, you know. So he made this for me, made one for Vera. Hers is not like this, just a kind of, just an ordinary pattern, you know. I lost Vera. We couldn't, I came home with somebody else, you know what I mean? These masks, we got piggy and lost. We got lost in the dairy aisle of Morrison's. I come home with somebody else. That's what I'm trying to say to you. Although I was glad to make a new friend. And I think there's what a lot of friendliness has been going on, you know, people across the streets waving. And before all this, the only acknowledgement you got off your neighbour is when the security light went on when you went past their house. I think that's a shame. Say, Barbara, it's a pigging shame, wherever you are. 1, 2, 3. Correct, Mundo, kids. We feel better if we get stuck in. So I'll just put this in my accordion handbag. Hey, look at that. I thought I'd lost this scarf. In Southport. Isn't it funny? Have you been having a good clear out, having a look for stuff? I've done a lot of painting, have you? Painted my fence so many times. Our dog's tail's never been so many colours. Have you had a little lockdown friend? Somebody, I mean, I'm not talking about Ken, my husband Ken. Should never have married him, really. The first time we met, I looked deep in his eyes, all I could see was the back of his head. But it's been a lot better, you know. I mean, we're not hit each other on the head with a pan, put it that way. It's been all right. So of course I've been with Ken. But I think you find that you sort of have a familiar over lockdown. Now, it could be a good book, or knitting needles, or a plant like this I've got very close to. I want you now, wherever you are, up and down the country, wherever you're pigging are, just to grab something now. Look around your living room now and just grab something that's been really helpful to you during the lockdown. I'll give you a lockdown countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here's mine. Yeah, you've been a good pal to me. And if you've got a lockdown pal, take a photograph of it and Twitter it up with the People's Assembly. Let's have some pigging fun, kids. That's a big part of life, you know. They can't stop us pigging laughing. We've got to laugh. That's right, isn't it? I was a bit miserable sometimes. I was, yeah. Do you remember that time you went out on the park? And I said, you can't go on the park. You said the peak was flattening. And I said, you cheeky pig, I just haven't been to the hairdressers. Hey, and do you remember that time when I came back and you was drinking? Oh, fact, you're either over the lockdown, you're either chunking up or what's the other word? So people are getting, with the exercise. Who is it? That's right, Joe Wiley. Joe Wiley's been doing all the exercise. So people have been getting sort of hunky or chunky if they've been eating too much. We're on a diet these days. We think we're too fat if we can't slip down the back of a radiator. Good jink. Or drunk. And when I came home, you was drinking. I hadn't been anywhere before you say, came home from where, Barbara? I just mean walking up and down the garden. I've been strictly, you know what I mean? Don't try and... I've had neighbours reporting me, and that's not very friendly. All I was doing was having a picking walk. So you was drinking Dettol. That's right. Now, why was you drinking Dettol? Right, because of what Donald Trump said. There's been some daft things said over this time. Unless we forget, he said, didn't he? You could drink disinfectant. No. Although I do like Dettol. It's a nice, clean smell. And if you haven't got much money, and none of us have got pigging much money these days, and you think, well, we will be going out, maybe getting in a bubble. I've been asked to be in so many bubbles. I'm like a bar of aero kids. A dab behind each ear. Nice. It's like a very nice cover version, cheap cover version. If you know that very expensive perfume you can get from Selfridges, somewhere like that. Clinique's Aromatiques Elixir. Yeah, Dettol. The amber liquid. Now, if you've ever had a Dettol bath, I just want you to go, I've had a Dettol bath. Isn't it nice? But just remember now, just a capful, otherwise we dashing with thrush. That's right, yeah. So, that's been my little friend over lockdown, and I hope you've had a pal too. Now, the other thing that's been happening, do you remember right at the beginning? Do you mind if I put you down? You want me to, yeah. At the beginning, people were coming around giving you food and everything. And of course, I mean, I'm high risk category. I am going to get the student next door, the artist next door. I'm going to get him to make me resuscitate necklace, right? I thought it was bad with shipment. We're pig in trouble with these, like, I'll tell you for nothing. So the student next door, give me this, Vesta Chow Mein. I was surprising. I thought they stopped making it in 1960. I said, will it be all right? He said, of course it will. I want you to have it, clearing his cupboards out, dumping on you. A lot of people dump on you. So I thought, right, health and safety. Having a nice little crackle. Do you remember all that? If you don't know about Vesta Chow Mein, you've never lived, Google it. So I just thought I better going to check the right sell by date, BBD, right, best before date. 15th of June 2017. So I said to Vera, my friend Vera, I said, will it be all right, Vera? She's have a go. What's life, Barbara, if you don't just go with it a bit, take a couple of risks now and then? She said BBD just means best before date. So, but she's always been that kind of a woman, a bit of a risk taker, Vera, really. First woman round here to have an electric whisk, put it that way. Now, I'm going to finish off, kids, because it's been lovely having the spoken word and stuff like that. I'm going to take this off. I'm picking, but into it. And the weather played. I hope people have got these blinds down. I hope people don't think I'm back to me all day. It's all right. We're just waving to the neighbours because you're always having a look at what you're doing. Do you know what I mean? Yes, it's fine. So I'm just going to finish off with a little bit of spoken word because I do think it's important that we look for things that we really like that make us feel better. Because like I said, all life's yin and yang feng until we start skiing out. And we will feel down sometimes because we'll suddenly jump to the surface and go, is this what's pigging going on? And then you think, all right, jump back down again, clean out a couple of cupboards and paint some stones with nail varnish. So I'm just going to now do a little poem and then we'll see if we can set it to music. Are you up for it? Say, Barbara, we are. Ah, yeah, nice. Okay. So here's a poem about things I like. Keep you going. You've got to count up what keeps you going. A chicken korma and naan from the Shireen Kadar. I run out to the Lickies in my son's nice red car. The thrill of hope a fresh bingo card brings. These are a few of my favourite things. You've got it. Okay, wherever you are now, on the settees. Da, 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 That's it. I can see it. A chicken come around and from. Keep going. Shrink-a-da. Get a through draft in your living room. I run out to the lickies in my son's nice red car. The thrill of hope a fresh bingo card brings together. These are a few of my favourite things. You go do, 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 do. I know you're thinking, blinking heck, Barbara, how long have we got to do for? If you feel like you're feeling a bit poorly, just drop out, come back when you feel like you're all right. Word searches, crosswords, and planting out bulbs. The shared sense of joy when a pal of mine pulls. Fred and Ginger step by step romancing. And Patrick Swayze when he was in Dirty Dancing. When I'm, what do we do, kids? I simply, and then what happens? So bad. I didn't know whether to sing or mime, but what I really wanted you to do was join in. Now, if you joined in, say, I joined in, Barbara. If you didn't join in, say, I didn't join in, Barbara. Well, you've all joined in now. And that's what I like. I don't like leaving anybody out. Now, before I go back to Laura, there was a lot of just having a look what I've got on here that I did want to mention to you. I'll just say a couple more things and then we'll go back to Laura and all that gang. You've got a lot to get through. And it's Friday night and I'm boiling. I've got the courgettes to water. Time-wise, does anybody feel they're getting mixed up? They don't know what they're picking doing. You know, it's gone on for a long time and your mind, somebody called it lockdown jelly brain. That was my friend. And I thought, yeah, you're right, Joe, it is big in lockdown jelly brain. But we do need help from each other. And I used to be all right because I keep forgetting when to take the bins out. Now, they go out on a Friday, I know that. And it used to be all right because on a Thursday night, I just popped my head around to see if it was the right day every Thursday night. And then all the kind of neighbours would come out and start clapping, which I thought was really helpful. And they've stopped doing that now. There's no clapping going on. And I said to the woman across the road, what's happened to the picking clapping when I come out? You know, helping me with bins. This is not for you, Barbara. It's never for you. So who was it for? She said it was for all the, you know, the workers, the key workers. I said Timsons. I love Timsons. I like what they do with people who've been in prison, give them a chance. She, not Timsons, no, Barbara. About the workers, you know, of all the PPE. I said, what pigging PPE? There was no PPE, was there? No proper pigging equipment. So I'm just having to use my own ideas really now to think what the time is and stuff. So I'll tell you what's helping me know what the time is. I think I can smell that rice pudding. Do you remember we all used to make simple things like instant whip and rice pudding, spam fritters and stuff like that? All that's coming back and I can, Laura, I can smell it, love. I think it's crisping up. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to finish off on a little song, Acapulco. We're workers. Let's hear it for the pigging workers. I'm a hard-working woman and we need proper rights for the fantastic hard-working people of the world, not just this pigging country either, kids, of the world's workers. So I'm going to do a song, Acapulco, if you don't mind just clicking along, about all the jobs I've done and how actually being an entertainer and being on stage, I can't wait to get back on stage, although it is nice being able to do your washing and get your delicates on a slow spin, you know, do 15-minute set and go down and iron. That's nice. So I want to go back on stage and I've done a load of jobs. So here we go, click. I've cleaned for the Beckhams, I've cleaned for Davina McCall, and I'm here. I've been in debt with Grattans, Littlewoods, in fact, with them all. And I'm here. I owed the landlord 6 months' rent. Before it's my money's been spent. I have worked in call centres for years. But you feel like a battery hen. It's better. Here, stand up, love, because we've got danger of getting DVD, you know, deep brain thrombosis. There's too much sitting down going on. Come on, get up, use your legs. Everybody, get up now and use your legs because we'll need them. We need them for the activism. I've worked for Woolworths, I've worked for TK Maxx, and I'm here. Sold in my scanties when I was an Ann Summers rep, and I'm here. I've been a mother, that's the test. I've not been perfect, but I've done my best, and they mostly come home for Christmas most years. I've careered from career to career. Why not? Nice place, lovely people. But I think I'm better off here. I'm like the old Blackpool pier. I'm still here. And I'm glad I'm here. And I'm glad you're here, kids. Come on, part of the people. Give some money because we're going to need it. If you've got some money, obviously I'm with Laura. If you haven't, that's a different picking matter. But if you've got some, and I've not been spending as much, I don't know about you. I'm going, Laura. I'm picking up. Rice pudding's ready, Laura. Are you all right, Laura?
I'm fine, but I really just want you to move to Durham and like, can you do that?
Well, I can come on the coach. I don't drive, I'm ergonomically correct. But when everything opens up, love, I'll come on the National Express coach. Whereabouts in Durham? I know Durham, but I will have gigged in Durham. Very nice place.
Yeah. Oh, we live in a village in County Durham and it's just been a thunderstorm, but the thunderstorm's over. I think they knew that the sun would need to shine after your performance, Barbara. You've been amazing. Thank you so much for being a true comrade. People get donating in appreciation with Barbara's performance. Thank you so much, Barbara. And
people of the world, workers, Laura, isn't it?
Exactly, workers of the world unite. Barbara Nice told you to do it, so you better blink and do it. Thank you so much, Barbara. Please share this live because even when the program has finished, people can come and watch that incredible performance. I really love Barbara. It's my middle name. People didn't know that. I'm announcing this year. My middle name is Barbara. We've still got Attila the stockbroker and Mark Steele. Please share this. Please, please, please donate. And there was a little problem with the link. We're working on sorting that out. We think it's because there's so many people donating, but as little or as much as you've got, I know there's not much spare at the moment. We appreciate every single penny, but there is also a donate. There is also, I'm just getting news about the donations. So the site's acting a bit strange because so many people are trying to donate. But let me read out the number. I'm coming to you, Attila the stockbroker, in just a second. But let me read out the number so that if you want to donate, I'm going to say it slowly. So warning, get your notes out on your phone or whatever. The number to donate right now is 079 335 94080. I'll say it again, 079 335 94080. Okay, we now are coming to Attila the stockbroker. He's a punk poet, multi-instrumentalist musician, songwriter and solid comrade, socialist and friend of the People's Assembly. It is over to you, Attila the stockbroker.
Evening all. I'm presuming everyone can hear me okay. Incidentally, Barbara, you should get a little, you go to Durham quite easy. Just get lift up next time Dominic Cummings is coming. Anyway, okay. So basically keep safe, everybody. Greetings from the Sussex coast, from Southwick, Port Town of Shoreham Harbour, 300 yards from the sea, in the middle of a big industrial port where fortunately no idiots want to come and not socially distance because there's a lovely big sewage pipe. I like my sewage pipe. I go fishing right next to it. It's a disused one, but anyway, okay. This little rap's here to inspire us not to get coronavirus. Lady Gaga, Miley Cyrus, they don't want coronavirus. It's a disease coming on the breeze and none of us would like it, please. It's a disease coming on the breeze. Piss off, Trump. It's not Chinese. Bloody hell. It's a pandemic running through the world at a rate systemic. Let me spell out my position. I'm 62 with a lung condition. Let's all work hard to avoid it till researchers have destroyed it. Don't get cranky. Don't be a fogey. Use that hanky. Bin that bogey. This little rap's here to inspire us not to get coronavirus. Lady Gaga, Miley Cyrus, they don't want coronavirus. It's a disease coming on the breeze and none of us would like it, please. It's a disease coming on the breeze. Piss off, Trump. It's not Chinese. Please be kind and give assistance. Always do it at a distance. Get your normal shopping done. There's enough for everyone. Panic buying, stupid caper. Put back all that toilet paper. What a crappy shit idea. Local pub delivers beer. This little rap's here to inspire us not to get coronavirus. Lady Gaga, Miley Cyrus, they don't want coronavirus. It's a disease coming on the breeze and none of us would like it, please. It's a disease coming on the breeze. Piss off, Trump. It's not Chinese. New dance called the Pontius Pilate. Time we all learned to freestyle it. Water hands and a bar of soap, cleaner than a microscope. No. Don't scratch your dirty bridge, then go down and raid the fridge. Please keep safe. Please keep well. Coronavirus, go to hell. Cheers. Cheers, everybody. Yeah, what a mess this government have made of it. Say it's a mess. It's far more than a mess, in my opinion. Probably the Cummings thing was completely planned right from the beginning. I don't do conspiracy theories, but when I look at my local beaches, not the one right next door, but the ones in Brighton and Hove, and obviously Bournemouth and Southend and everywhere. I mean, we are right at the epicenter of dickheadry. In our coastal places, we got all these beaches. It was like we're a coastal nation. We're an island. There's beaches everywhere. Why don't everybody just kind of like go to different places? It's quite simple. I mean, anyway. Stay alert. Johnson, testiculator. Said, oh, testiculate. By the way, my phrase for Johnson. He's a testiculator. The verb testiculate, to testiculate, to wave one's arms around while talking bollocks, as in Boris Johnson testiculated his way through the 2019 general election. If you think he's a wanker and he spats a load of crap, put down your pint or cup of tea and do the Johnson rap. If you think he's a dickhead with an eye for the main chance, celebrate this brand new verb and do the Johnson dance. Wave your arms around, talk bollocks, testiculate. Wave your arms around, talk bollocks, testiculate. If you think he'd say anything to stay in number 10, do one thing, then the opposite, then the first thing again. If you think he's a spaffer, a rich, entitled toff, vote Labour and tell Johnson, we're going to cut you off. Wave your arms around, talk bollocks, testiculate. Wave your arms around, talk bollocks, testiculate. And when he sees that we're not fooled by endless streams of lies and carefully dishevelled hair and slightly open flies and crap O-level Latin and ghastly fourth-rate pun, he goes straight into Dalek mode and he yells, get Brexit done, testiculate, get Brexit done, testiculate, out of control. Cheers, testiculate. There's a T-shirt on my Bandcamp, until it's looked like a Bandcamp, if you like, but the most important thing tonight is donate to the People's Assembly Against Austerity. All the gigs that I'm doing during lockdown have been fundraisers for our local food bank community group, for musicians who've got no income at all right now, and tonight for the People's Assembly Against Austerity. I'm proud and happy to be here and support you, comrades, as I have done obviously live on many occasions. Yeah, I'm going to do this one now. I just mentioned about Brexit. We got Brexit coming up again, as we know. It's coming around the corner. I wrote this for my mate Ronnie in Hartlepool. It's called Take Back Control. It goes out to you all. Whichever way you voted, we all know the lies and the vote farming that went into this whole spam spiv campaign. And with a no-deal Brexit on the horizon, because Johnson literally doesn't want to do a deal because he wants to play along with the geriatric bigots who voted for the bloody thing in the first place, then this is for everybody who thinks, and some who should think more than they are right now about the implications of what's going to happen. It's called Take Back Control. As I say, it's from mate Ronnie in Hartlepool. You tell me how you've suffered since the closure. I see the pain and sadness in your eyes. I feel your anger at our country's leaders who offer only platitudes and lies. At gigs, I hear so many of these stories, all different, but the message is the same. You're sick to death of scheming politicians, no longer going to play their poxy game. The referendum was your chance. You took it. They told you we'd be taking back control of jobs and factories and borders, a revolution wrapped up in a poll. The EU is a massive corporate bully, cheap labour and big profits at its core. I understand why you voted for Brexit. One chance to strike a blow in the class war. But it wasn't the EU who shut your pit down and sent Met thugs rampaging through your street. It didn't close your hospitals and workshops, smash down your uni into brave defeat. No EU diktat caused the housing crisis, the poll tax, bedroom tax or 0 hours. No, all of these were brought in by the Tories. And now those bastards have some brand new powers. So let's take back control with strong trade unions, and let's take back control and organise, take back control of pub and school and workplace and counter all the endless media lies. Take back control as we all stand together. No scapegoating and no divide and rule. The future is unwritten and it's daunting. Please don't let Brexit take you for a fool. Cheers. And one confronting the horrible rise of bigotry and xenophobia, and dedicated, of course, to Black Lives Matter and to Marcus Rashford. And, you know, it's lovely to see the Premier League taking a stand. I'm, as a Brighton of Albion fan, dedicated sort of grassroots football supporter. I've been increasingly sort of alienated by mainstream and top level football and the Premier League and the money and everything. But I do think that what the Premier League have done in the last couple of weeks in supporting Black Lives Matter has been a really good thing. Anyway, they claim their planet's dying, that soon it's going to blow. And so they're coming here, they say they've nowhere else to go with their strange computer voices and their one eye on a pole. They're moving in next door, and then they're signing on the door. Asylum-seeking Daleks are landing here at noon. Why can't we simply send them back or stick them on the moon? It says here in the Daily Mail they're coming here to stay. The loony lefties let them in. The middle class will pay. They claim that they're not terrorists. That doesn't wash with me. The last time I saw one, I hid weeks behind the settee. Good Lord, they're pink with purple bumps. There's photos of them here, not just extraterrestrial. The bloody things are queer. There's homosexual Daleks, and they're sponging off the state with huge Arts Council grants to teach delinquents how to skate. It's all here in the paper. I better tell the wife, for soon they will our British way of life. This satire on crass ignorance and tabloid fostered fear is at an end. Now let me give one message loud and clear. Golf course, shop floor, or BNP. Smash bigotry and hate. Asylum seekers welcome here. You racists, emigrate. Cheers. Thanks. Yes, we're doing these online gigs. I'm doing loads now. The cactus gets extra fertilizer from the wormery for putting up with having Thatcher stapled to it, and has had that Thatcher stapled to it for quite a long time now. Once again, reminder to please do the donation thing, and I'll do two more. I think that's probably about right. I'll do this one for the NHS. I'm a walking advertisement for the NHS. I've had bladder cancer, which I'm hopefully in remission from. I've had well, basically at the moment I've got COPD. I mentioned that earlier. That's 27 years of smoking, of not smoking, of inhaling other people's smoking gigs. I never smoked in my life, and I've been really well looked after. And high blood pressure and all kinds of other bollocks. I'm still cycling 40 miles without even thinking about it though, so it's not that bad. But I wrote this for the NHS and for my wife. And in between being diagnosed with bladder cancer and finding out how bad it was. And this is called In Train. I've always loved cycling, but never as much as today. 40 miles of the Sussex countryside on a beautiful spring afternoon. In training, testing myself like a boxer preparing his body for the fight. Fitness helps post-surgical healing, they told me, and alcohol hinders it, so I've given up beer until after the operation. In our criminally overstretched and underfunded NHS, with so many people in need, this red rocker doesn't want to be a bed blocker even for one day. They'll know after the biopsy. It's the wait, the not knowing that's the worst. Now, back in the old days of the 80s, when we knew the fascists were going to attack the gig, but we didn't know whether there would be a pathetic gaggle of scrawny 18-year-olds high on glue, one with "Oi" tattooed on his forehead the wrong way round because he'd done a DIY job in the mirror, or a big gang of the really hard bastards, all DMs, tattoos and Nazi salutes. During the day, it's okay, more or less. I have a full life and can mostly put things to the back of my mind, but at night, I wake to that same recurring dark thought and sheer human fear takes hold. Then your warm arms embrace me. Your soft breasts enclose me. Your lips meet mine. We hold each other tight. You push against my leg and I'm whole again. It is a wonder and an honour to be this loved, especially given my regular deficiencies in matters of etiquette, self-effacement, you name it. And I return it with all the force of my being. I love you so much. I know how hard it is for you too. Thank you for being there. My heart goes out to those who have to face such things on their own, and my deepest respect to the people whose profession is to help them to do so, like all those at the core of our wonderful NHS. They are the ones to be celebrated. The real celebrities, not some idiot on a game show. They need your vote and your campaigning. Victory to the junior doctors. Long live the NHS. I've always loved cycling, but never as much as today. 40 miles through the Sussex countryside on a beautiful spring afternoon, in training, testing myself like a boxer preparing his body for the fight. Blood coursing, legs pumping, muscles flexing, thoughts racing, bursting with life. Cheers. Thank you. One more from me. So yeah, dedicated obviously to the People's Assembly. Support the People's Assembly, and we need a fight back. We need an absolute fight back against what is happening right now. I don't need to say any more than that, really. So my final piece for today is a personal one. One of the most incredible things about this pandemic for me is the fact that I owe my life to the first one. My dad was 59 when I was born. He fought in the First World War, and he was at the Somme in 1918. And during the last German offensive before the armistice, his trench was overrun, and his entire battalion were wiped out. And he wasn't killed because he caught Spanish flu. He caught the first pandemic, so he was in the field hospital and he survived. And hence, I'm here now. And so I have thoughts about this, 102 years later. It's incredible. Anyway, I have two poems. I haven't got time to do both of them. One about my father and his incredible escape in 1918. But I'm going to do this one about my stepfather, whom my mother married 4 years after my father died when I was 10. And I dedicate this at this time when life is so precious. It's always precious, but when things are so uncertain, this is just a message. If you know somebody, or you love somebody, or you're part of a family or a friend group or whatever, and there's somebody out there that for whatever reason you've fallen out with or become distant from, or just not got in touch with when you know you should have done, do it now, because you never know. It's a totally true story. It's dedicated to my stepfather, John Stamford. I wrote it just before he died in 2009. It's called Never Too Late. My father died when I was 10. And when she dried her tears, Mum met you in the choir. She's known of you for years. I was so pleased when she told me that she would be your wife. And I look forward happily to a new man in my life. But you were the classical singer who thought rock and roll was junk. And I was the bowling boogie boy who soon became a punk. You were the civil servant for whom everything had its place. And I was the left-wing activist out there and in your face. Yes, you were the head of the household. And I was the stroppy kid. We wound each other up for sure. We flipped each other's lid. But later, we both learned so much and something new began. And here's a poem I wrote for you, you decent, gentle man. So I went off to my own life, left you and Mum to yours. A few words about football, then the sound of closing doors. But the passing of so many years gave us both time to reflect. And slowly, oh so slowly, we forged a new respect. When you were ill the first time and found it hard to walk, I'd take you to the hospital and we would sit and talk. It felt so right and normal. And it was such a shame that it had taken all this time, both stubborn, both to blame. Because you were the head of the household and I was the stroppy kid. We wound each other up for sure. We flipped each other's lid. But later, we both learned so much and something new began. And here's a poem I wrote for you, you decent, gentle man. When Mum came down with Alzheimer's, 5 years you cooked and cared, and we were around there every day, so many thoughts were shared. Your simple, honest loyalty. The vows you made, you'd keep. No longer the big boss man, me, no longer the black sheep. Then came that day in hospital. The end was near, we knew. You told me, I do love you, John. I said, I love you too. You took my hand and squeezed it. Our eyes were filled with tears. The first time that we said that, it took 37 years. Because you were the head of the household and I was the stroppy kid. We wound each other up for sure. We flipped each other's lid. But later, we both learned so much and something new began. And here's a poem I wrote for you, you decent, gentle man. It's never too late, never too late, never too late to say you love someone. And if it wasn't too late for me and John, then it's never too late for anyone. Cheers. Now, I'm hoping that Laura is going to be back to. Oh, there she is. Good.
Look,
Say,
just-
please donate. Please donate to the cause. Please donate to
well,
the People's Assembly Against Austerity. If you want to get any of my books and CDs with all my poems and songs and all the rest of it and T-shirts, it's AttilaTheStockbroker.bandcamp.com. I'll put that on there at some point.
yeah,
in the
put it,
next,
put it on the link. That would be
I will do.
great
I will
because
do. I will do. But cheers
because
for having me.
no thanks.
Most important thing tonight is to donate to the People's Assembly Against Austerity, and thank you for having me. And soon you got a Palace fan coming up, so I'll be watching.
I actually saw you 12 years ago at a solidarity gig for a victimized worker, and it just exemplifies, activists are doing this decade after decade.
40 years. I've been doing this for 40 years, and I've done an awful lot of solidarity gigs, and I'm very, very proud. And until I drop dead, I'm going to be doing solidarity gigs and trying to earn a living at the same time, because we all need to do.
Of course.
But I mean, I'm lovely. I'm really proud to be here, and thanks for inviting me.
No, honestly, thank you so much on behalf of the People's Assembly. Let me just give you some updates to everybody that is watching. First, broken record, share this, because even when this is finished, people can see Attila the Stockbroker's performers, Jerry Potter's, Barbara Nice, and we still have Mark Steele to come. I've just got a couple of really practical things. Number one, I'm actually quite moved by this, to be honest. People have been donating so much that the website crashed. Can you believe it? So please just be patient with us. But I'm just going to give you 2 other ways that you can donate now. If you have a PayPal account, jot this email address down. This is all you need to make a PayPal payment. It's office@thepeoplesassembly.org.uk. We'll put that in the comments chat bar as well. And let me just read out the phone number one more time. It's 079 335 94080. But before I introduce Mark, let me just remind you of this. Attila the Stockbroker there talked about love. That is the basis of our activism, isn't it? It's love for people in our own communities.
Absolutely.
It's about justice for working class people. It's about love for people that we've never met. It's about getting justice for people that we have never met. And we have a litany of failures of this government, not least the 10 years, the decade of austerity that came before this health crisis. But the way that they have left workers without PPE, the billions in cuts, the ending of the lockdown, the changing of the distancing from 2 meters to 1 meters, all of this is why we are going to have to fight harder than ever before when we come out of lockdown. So every single pound and pence that you donate will be going to make sure that we have the biggest, loudest, most well-organized movement that this government has ever seen. Next, I'm really, really, really proud to introduce Mark Steele. Thank you so much for coming. He's a comedian, broadcaster, newspaper columnist and author, a stand-up comedian, of course, known for his socialist beliefs. And he wouldn't be here tonight if he wasn't, but a huge supporter of the People's Assembly. And if you haven't seen his impersonation of Boris Johnson, it is literally unbelievable. We'll put a link to it in the comments so you can watch a little bit later. But thank you so much, Mark, for joining us. And it is over to you.
Thank you, Laura. That's brilliant. I love Laura's accent, especially earlier on when Laura, when you were saying the language may be a little bit fruity. That just sounds wrong in that accent to complain about, or not complain, but worry about fruity language and that. But the best comedy performance this week, when Boris Johnson, when he did that thing with the scientists about easing the restrictions, and you could tell the scientists, they were going, we think we might be able to ease some of but please be careful. And some of the pubs, we're not really sure about it. But anyway, and then Johnson was going, so there you are, go out. It's your duty to buy lager for Britain. Drink, get pissed for Britain. Otherwise you are a traitor. And the scientists go, no, that's not what we said. That's what. Go to the beach, play the old game I learnt at Eton, stand in a circle, naked, spitting at each other. Do it for Britain from July the 4th. The scientists go, no, shut the fuck up. You're going to double it all again. And but it was brilliant. And but so we're the worst country apart from America and Brazil. Apart from that, but even though they've been that bad, I think the worst people during the pandemic have been those people who love it. Those annoying bastards who love it. Just don't have to be miserable, get through it, but don't, I've had the pandemic of a lifetime. It's been such a wonderful lockdown. I mean, this morning I was on TikTok doing a falconry class, and then this afternoon I was doing a Zumba class on Zoom, which was absolutely wonderful. Then I did a bit of homeschooling when I got my lovely little daughters to sit around recreating Star Wars using hand sanitizer as a Death Star, which was glorious. And then I went to a house party and Barack Obama was there, and it was just wonderful. And then this evening on FaceTime, I'm having an 11-course meal with my friends in Paraguay who I haven't seen for absolutely years. And then after that, in my WhatsApp group, we're doing a quiz night where the theme is people that we've murdered. It's wonderful. And the people at the beginning, those ones at the beginning who just wouldn't have it, and they're coming out now. The one that were going, I'm not going. Why should I stay indoors? I'm not staying indoors. I always go down on a Tuesday. I go down on a Tuesday to the moon underwater, the Weatherspoons in the town centre. And but you're gonna die. You're gonna kill everyone. I don't care. I'll go down and there could be nothing could stop them. You could go. There's lions. There's a pride of lions in the town square. They've eaten but I've got to meet Cherry. I'll meet him on a Tuesday. It's Stampy night. I'm not doing that just because if you stay at home, the lions have won. I heard one. He was on a radio phoning, and he said, this was right at the start. He said, "Well, I'm 83, right, and I'm going to carry on going down the market every day. I'll tell you for why, right? There's nothing wrong with me. I'm fine. Why shouldn't I go out down the market every day? I'm fine." And I thought, right, mate, the thing is, there's something about the nature of disease that you've not quite grasped. Because generally with disease, you are fine right up until the point when you get the disease. That's when the trouble starts. There are very few diseases so bad that they make you ill before you even get the disease. The plague of 1590 didn't kill many people in 1589. He might as well have spent his whole life on the 11th floor balconies going, I'm going to jump off. I won't hurt me legs. They're fine. There's nothing wrong with them. So then, right. So, leading the world. This is their catchphrase, Johnson's catchphrase. We are leading the world in everything. We're useless, everything. We are leading the world we're the game changer, the tracing app that will change everything, ready by the middle of May, and then it was June, and then July, and then September, like a builder was making it. No, mate, I'll tell you what, it's a little bit of setback, a little bit of red tape, it won't be ready. We're in 2049, it's going to be ready. One trouble is, who's had it here? You've got that's going to come out, isn't it? So every little thing has been, with the third worst country in the world for the number of infections, the number of fatalities, everything. Just behind the people we're behind, the other countries we're behind. Brazil, where there's just like a certifiably insane president whose just attitude is, he's very good for Brazil. If you go out and catch coronavirus, die. We want to die for Brazil. Beautiful thing. And Trump, the only place that is worse than us, Brazil and America, run by Trump, who just now they've given up on him. The scientists, that's why Boris Johnson's copying him. The scientists there come out every day and they stand there and they go, we think that 3.4 of the 6 of the R number if we can possibly, and they do whatever and they know it's all pointless. At the end of it, Trump's just going to come on and go, I've got a very good cure. You stick a cactus up the ass. It's a fantastic cure, believe me. and they are the only people. Were the only country that with a worse rate than us is where you've got like people demonstrating across Wyoming and places like that you see these people on the news with the beards and the little self-made placards and that, all those people. I ain't staying indoors. You can't be told what to do by a virus. You can't be scared by a virus. What's the matter with you? You got to go. It's God's will. That's what it is. God's will. It's God's will that if you've got the virus, then God wants you to go out into the community and infect 70 or 80 other people so they die as well. That's what God wants you to do, because we've got an infringement of civil liberties going on down here. Because I'll tell you, if you civil liberties, because if you're in a bad mood and you want to go down the shopping mall and shoot everybody all down the stores, just gun them all down, 60, 70 in one go, you can't do it now because there's no one at the stores. That's an infringement on your American basic civil liberty rights. Communism, that's what it is. And that's the only country worse than us, leading the world, unless they mean we're marvellous. Unless you look at the figures, marvellous. Look, 80,000, we got rid of the fuckers. I don't know. So it was, I think that this was when it, because I think to start with, most people were like, oh, just get through it. Oh, just don't worry about it. And then Boris Johnson did his big speech on the night where he was explaining how it was all going to be different and this was the rules. And that's for the first time most people realise what you don't know. What is he doing with that? What we have is a cornucopia of veritas, pandemicus, if you will, ipso facto modus vivendi coitus interruptus, in as much as R must be reduced to 3 times R or P, and if you stay at home, you must stay at home at all times unless you are out, and must only travel if you are going somewhere, and no one is permitted to stay. You must go to work but are not allowed to travel there unless you fly, and must keep a distance of at least 2 meters from birds. These measures will come into place on Monday unless Monday falls on a Monday. And that was when I think most of the country went, which is why they're now only 35% ahead in the polls. So, what have I got here? Oh, yeah. So that's the finish of the other night, yeah. And what are you looking forward to most, Prime Minister? I'm looking forward to a haircut. Yeah. Are you you lying? He's not looking forward to it. He's the Prime Minister. He could have had a haircut, couldn't he? He could have, most of his life, he's probably had a hairdresser for each individual hair. So, Boris Johnson, what have I got? Right. Yes. So, a couple of people mentioned this. Then, so he got the virus, because all this now, common sense, we must have common sense, like the common sense that I'm going to shake hands with people who are infected because you can't possibly get it like that. So, then he comes out and loads of the commentators went, he's going to be a changed man. Oh, look at him. He's had a brush with death. He's going to be a new gentle soul now. He's probably going to be best friends with the Dalai Lama and do spiritual things with Russell Brand. But they introduced this thing. They promote this thing where the foreign nurses are going to have to pay double the surcharge for being foreign nurses. Like, I've come over here to sort all people out and keep people healthy. There, you fucking bastards, you can pay double. So double, including the Portuguese nurse that saved it. Thank you for saving my life. That'll cost you double. And of course, a lot of people will go to it with mugs, right? Because these foreign nurses, right, they're all working in the hospitals, right? looking after people with coronavirus. That means they're more likely to get the coronavirus. And if they do get the coronavirus, they're going to be sick in our hospitals. We're getting mugged off. We're having to look after them. Mugs, aren't we? So, and someone mentioned the PPE. All through that, best in the world, leading the world. What an extraordinary thing. All you've got to do is get like people, we think of it as some great big astronauty thing. It's just plastic gowns and gloves, masks, stuff they have in hospitals. And just go and make some out of bin liners or something. And it was as if there was some like old Yorkshireman that was running the whole Department of Health going, we didn't have bloody plastic gowns and masks in our day. Well, I'll tell you what, in our day, we used to do it in nude. We just stood in bucket of coronavirus and just bloody smeared it all over us. The coronavirus didn't dare bloody come near us. We get to get out of it. So, what we have a little note talking here. Oh, and everyone's had it now, haven't they? That's the brilliant thing now. We're 12 weeks in. Everyone's had it. Everyone knew. Of course, I had it. I reckon I had it last October because I sneezed in the morning and then I sneezed again at night. And when I look back on it, it's coronavirus. It's got to be in it. Loads of them people. I had it. I had it in. I'll tell you what. I remember I was sick. I felt sick. I had a terrible stinking head. And when I look back, it was a COVID-19, definitely, because it was it wasn't nothing I'd had to eat, because all I'd had the night before was 11 pints of Guinness, and that was the COVID-19, definitely. 1986, I've had it. Oh, this is the bloke I felt sorry for. It's all a bit random, isn't it? Right. I have no idea if anyone's listening to this. This is normal now. This is just not. I'm sat on my bed shouting and ranting in a series of ridiculous voices with no idea if anyone's paying any, or even if there's anyone there. I've just had a drink, and there's probably someone at the door coming up at the moment just to take it. Yes, this is the place. He's been screaming now for about a week from the end of his bed, and I'm going to go, there's people watching. Yes, Mr. Steele, there are people watching. If you'd like to come this way, please. We've got a couple of beds now that are available for people like you. I've no idea, but right, this is someone I did feel sorry for. Ray Winston, every night, if you watch the sport, not even on the sport, all them adverts, I'm Ray Winston. And for how long now? There've been now the sports back. He must be thinking, thank God for that, because for about 10 weeks he's probably been like me. He's just probably been ranting on his own, even though there's no sport. We're the world's largest online betting company, and you can still have a bet even though there's no games. Who's going to be the Premier League manager? What's going to be the next one to catch the virus? Eddie Howe, 8-1. Roy Hodgson, 12-1. Jose Marino, 15-1. And we pay double if he blames it on the ref. So bet. Nah! I'll give you a back rub, and I ain't wash my hands. So, right, this is what I'll finish with, people. I might not do, I might just carry on rowing and shouting here at the end of my bed for several months when it's turned out that there was no coronavirus and we're all allowed out again. I don't know. So, nonetheless, that we have learned something very important as a nation during this pandemic. We have learnt how to fund the health service. All the old ways, they don't work. The way to fund the health service is we get a 99-year-old bloke to run round the garden. That's so much more efficient, isn't it, than collecting money off people and taxes and paying things and filling in forms. Now we just get a 99-year-old to run around a garden, and people said, don't give money to the People's Assembly, send it to the 99-year-olds walking around the that's and of course we can sort of stagger it according to what the time of the year is. So in the summer, when there's less people in hospitals, generally you can just walk around the garden, the 99-year-olds, normal sort of pace. Then when it's the winter and you need a bit more medicine, come on, hurry up, you silly old bastard, come on, there's fucking no beds, people are sleeping on trolleys, move, don't stop and lean on your walking frame, move. That's the end of me notes. I've no idea. Are you there? Is anyone there? Where are you? I could just look it into a screen. I'm mad.
I'm here.
This is so disconcerting. It's like I'm just screaming. And in a week's time, am I going to be yelling into a lump of cheese?
It is so nerving, isn't it? Because you'll be like, oh, so, and you're just waiting for the feedback and it never comes. But one of the things
I heard it.
one of the things that you just mentioned there, Mark, was it really, I used to be a member of parliament and I've seen Boris Johnson in very close quarters, so at the dispatch box. And needless to say, there's not much substance to lots of the things that he says. And I've often wondered, and you did a great impression, what would people's perception of him be if he had like my accent, or do you know the northern member of parliament Ian Lavery, if he had Ian Lavery's accent, he was like, oh well, the lockdown might be ended on Monday. You just would, he's so shielded, isn't he, by his own privilege and his posh accent. Look, you all, I mean, I'm quite a miserable bugger, and you've had me absolutely lolling and in County Durham. The storm has passed. You have been amazing, honestly. Do you know that you all made our website crash because people were donating so much, and the phone has been off the hook as well. So this is practical solidarity, and you have helped us raise money, and I honestly, we cannot thank you enough. I'm just going to give another shout out for the donations, because it's already that. Yeah.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I just
Yeah,
wonder,
can.
have you got any idea how much we've raised tonight?
Not yet, because there's lots of different platforms, and people are actually on the phone as we speak taking the donations. But there's already tens of thousands of people watched this, so that is
unbelievable.
I know it is ridiculous. Well, it's brilliant, Barbara. It's not ridiculous. It's brilliant.
I like Mark's wall. Can I just like the colour of your wall, Mark?
I don't know what it is. It's blue. Blue. Oh, that's just.
Looks nice. Anyway, carry on, Laura. Looks nice.
We'll have to get the colour code. We can add that to the link if people want it for the end of Mark's bed. That's what we'll call it.
I tell you what, if you want to sponsor Thatcher to get even more pricked on the cactus,
oh God,
maybe pay a bit more for that as well.
Well, we'll maybe not put that in the link but honestly, Jerry, thank you so much as always for your poetry, for your unbelievable words. Thank you so much to you, Attila the Stockbroker, Barbara Nice, and to Mark Steele. I'm just going to give a quick shout out. Don't go anywhere yet, people, because we want you to donate. The link did crash, but it's back up and working now.
Staying up.
Yeah. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
It's not usually like this, people. I'm just still trying to get people to donate, but the link is on there. It is working now, so be patient with us. Make sure that you go on there, and if you hadn't been able to get on before, you will now. I'm going to say this as the last thing. On Thursday, we have another programme of Making Sense of the Crisis. This Thursday at 7 p.m, it's an NHS special, because we know it's the National Health Service birthday. We know that some of those people who are right-wing and have huge platforms, some in the government, like to take over some of these celebrations and wash out all of the history of taking millions of pounds away from the NHS. Their party even sometimes voting against the creation of the NHS. So we are going to be bringing the politics on Thursday about our wonderful, our brilliant, our magnificent health service and all of the people that work in it. Please donate. Thank you so much. Our activism, let's just think about this as a kind of closing note. Who actually changes things? Who is it? Is it those people who kind of push around money in the stock markets? Is it the multi-billionaires who fundamentally change things for the better for working class people? It isn't. It's when we collectivize, it's when we organize, when we stand in solidarity with each other, and we put pressure and make demands of the government. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing. So keep donating. All of the money will go towards being a very effective mass mobilisation, organisation, putting pressure on this government. Have a brilliant Thursday night. Please share again and say thanks to everyone